folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Oh man, this has been a day. I am sorry I'm late. I got caught up talking to somebody while we were out running our errands at the card shops and stuff. And so I did not plan to be late. It is definitely my fault. No other issues. I apologize. You all. So there is a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the chat first. I know you guys have been sitting here for a while. I know there's lots of chats going on. What's up, everybody? Well, first of all, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Dylan House in the chat. What's up? King of the Ozone, Krabby's Cards. We got Sage, Ray, Pokédeck Master Ace. We got Bolts Up Leo. What's up? Matt Wheeler, how's it going? Florida French Bulldogs. We got Robert, Heart Cold, Soul Silver. Still love the name. Tico, Robert, Tommy. What's up? DJ Collector. We got Jimbo and Kaiser. What's up, guys? We got Chalky Milk. Guys, Pika Pika. What's up, everybody? If I missed your name, sorry. Fork Tender. Appreciate all you guys being here. Gosh, a lot of chatting going on before I jumped in here. Anyway. What more do I say at this point? What more do I say? The new Destined Rivals UPC got announced, and other people have already covered it, so I'm not going to give you the same coverage that you hear from everybody else. But yeah, you know, it doesn't have all Destined Rivals packs. It's more of like a kind of like a era-ending product where it kind of gives you a little bit of everything from all the different sets. And, you know, it threw a promo card in there that's just going to set that product on fire. Guys, Pokemon knows what they're doing. They are going to make their products valuable, whether anyone likes it or not. And I just don't think people are coming to grips still with the fact that there simply is not going to be enough to go around. There's too many mouths to feed in this hobby at this point. Let's take Prismatic Evolutions. Guys, every time I make a Prismatic Evolutions video, I get the same comments, right? They're going to print this set for 2 more years, Alex. Let me bring you back in. Let's come back to reality. Newsflash. They've been printing every Scarlet Violet era set for the past 2 years. Just because something is in print does not mean it is infinitely printed every day, every week, every month, every year. Okay? SV Base has not got a reprint since it was released. Okay, it got one right after it was released. Hasn't got another one. Paldea Obsidian Flames, small ones here or there, right? Paradox Rift, not much. It's just like people have this idea in their head when they hear it's in print for 2 years that every month they're going to print more. Every single month they're going to. It's not how it works, guys. They've already printed a ton of Prismatic, right? They have printed tons of ETBs, throwing Costco Sam's Club bundles out there. They have printed tons of the booster bundles, whether they be in the bundles or just, otherwise. They got the EV pouch collections. They got the SPCs. They're throwing out new collection boxes. This is equivalent of printing into the ground, okay? The ETBs are holding the line. They're hold. They're holding the line at $100. And when you tell people this that are ruled by their emotions, their only response is, well, just wait. It's going to get printed into the ground. It is. This is it. This is the print to the ground. It's still too popular. The price is holding. If you don't think that if the price didn't fall under 100 for very small amounts of time here or there, during this time when it's being printed the most that it's probably ever going to get printed in its entire life cycle, you're crazy. You're out of your mind. If you don't think it's going to eventually have a rebound. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know what the actual bottom is. I don't know what's going to happen to the singles right now. The singles may be getting to a point of buy soon. The singles are down, 50% plus or whatever. They're probably getting to a point where they're probably a buy. But Prismatic Evolutions is a perfect example. 151. Guys, every video almost, every stream I'm on, people tell me, Alex, I just found another drop of 151 at my local Target, my local Walmart. Alex, this store dropped 151. This site dropped 151. People have been finding 151 product the entire time it's been out. There's been bundles released multiple times. The UPCs were falling off the shelves. Pretty much everything but the ETBs were printed into oblivion. Blooming waters, multiple waves everywhere. It is not crashing the price. The price is, in fact, not just holding up, but still rising on these products, right? And I think people are having a tough time coming to grips. This is the new normal. This is it. You can like it, you can hate it. I don't care. This is it. And I understand I'm hated for coming out and just speaking truth and just telling you how it is, but this is the way it is. And you can go to someone's channel and they can sprinkle you with a bunch of, fairy dust and make you feel all good about yourself and say, it'll all be MSRP. It'll all be fine. No, it won't. It won't all be fine. I'm going to stare at this camera. It will not all be fine. 151 will not come back down. Prismatic Evolutions likely is not going to see a massive correction down to MSRP ever. Destined Rivals is likely never going to see a correction down to MSRP no matter what gets printed. And unfortunately, this causes an issue, right? Because you have the haves and the have-nots, which you guys think I'm one of the haves. I am not. I am one of the have-nots. I have very little, if any, distribution. Like, yeah, I'll put in orders for my distributor. They'll give me a box or two. Well, not a case or two, a box or two, right? They'll ship me a couple boxes. Most products I get zero of. I haven't got any products from my distributor since Black and White was released, and I got a couple ETBs each. That's it. So I'm one of the have-nots as well. I get it, right? We can't get any product. All the people with distribution are getting large amounts of it, and they're doing with it what they see fit. Now, shout out to my buddy Frank. He was the guy I was talking to while I was late, actually, because we just got talking and it was crazy information. But I'm not going to use the card shop's name, but he's become friendly with one of the largest card shops in the nation. And, to the point where, they hang out together. He tours his warehouse and everything. And this is a warehouse where they have, Costco-like structures, where they have forklifts that have to move the pallets around on these Costco-like structures in their 30,000-foot warehouse. And they are not wanting to get rid of much of anything in this market, even though they know they can get exponential amounts of profits, especially not just buying at distribution pricing, just so the markets are at right now. And they are seeing the same thing all of us that invest in this hobby are seeing, is that why would I sell? It's only going to go higher. I don't need the money. I already make enough money off my regular operations. Why would I sell all of my sealed products when they only go higher? And so now all these people, they're just continuing to sit on it. The card shops are sitting on, people at distribution are sitting on it. People like me that can get anything, the scraps, we're sitting on it. Everyone knows where it's going. Here's the other kicker. If you guys truly think there is more product out there in Scarlet Violet than there is Sword and Shield, you are sadly mistaken. Guys, I have been through this hobby for 4 generations now. I've seen XY, Sun and Moon, and Sword and Shield. There was a fraction of the packs ever opened with those other eras compared to what it is right now. Guys, I'm going to have them on, by the way, but shout out Darium's TCG. They're one of the OGs. They've had a channel long before probably any other YouTuber in the space that you know. They were doing Magic content before Pokemon. They had a card shop, 10 plus years ago. They're one of the OGs on YouTube. They used to get crazy views when they used to open 1,000 booster packs when a new set would come out. Evolutions would come out, 1,000 pack opening. Burning Shadows come out, 1,000 pack opening. And it was insane. Everyone in the comments, I can't believe it, 1,000 packs. Guys, 1,000 packs get opened in one stream. On a busy stream on my channel, we'll open 1,000 packs in one night. And then we'll do it again the next night. Oh, yeah. And the night after that, and the night after that. It's not a big deal. It's everyone's desensitized to it. Whereas back then, in the XY Sun and Moon times, dude, you were a psychopath to open 1,000 packs. And if you had a YouTube video of it, you'd get crazy views because nobody else was doing it. You can't find anybody else back in 2016, 17 opening 1,000 packs on YouTube. It was unheard of. Now, log on to any streaming site you want, pick your poison. There is a streamer opening 1,000 plus packs every single day. And so when you see when you see these numbers, right? These print numbers, Alex, they're printing X amount of billion cards. They were only printing this amount of billions back in Sword and Shield. Okay, the problem is they weren't opening 1,000 packs a night times however many streamers. All right. And so to keep up with the amount of packs being ripped, they would have to double, triple, quadruple, 5x, 10x their print runs to even get back to the point where there's enough product left in Scarlet Violet as there is Sword and Shield. It does not exist. And unfortunately, when anyone says this, they're met with all the disbelief, all the small-minded BS of, oh, you're just trying to create FOMO. You're trying to shill people. You're trying to keep your own investments up. Guy, I'm just telling you how it is. People don't like to hear how it is. They want to hear the fluffy stuff that makes them feel good. And the unfortunate truth is, this is the hobby that we have created. This is it. Pokemon has created such an incredible business with such a powerful IP that so many people want and desire for different reasons. Again, everyone's got different reasons. You got players, you got collectors, you got investors, you got people who care about value, you got businesses, everything. They've created such a crazy brand IP business that they can't make enough of the product in a timely manner to keep all the demand down. And then even if they could, you have to think, well, why would they want to change anything from what it's like right now, right? And I think this Destined Rivals product, the thumbnail is, right, this UPC, I think putting a Charizard and a Gengar in the same box, guys, Pokemon, it's their IP. You don't think the board members know, oh, if we put a Gengar and a Charizard in the same set, is it going to do well? You don't think they know? If we put one of the most valuable SIRs and Destined Rivals as a promo in a collection box, is it not going to do well? They know exactly what they're doing. They're making intense amounts of demand. They are creating artificial scarcity with the products by printing enough, but not too much. And it is causing every single store that has Pokemon to do very well, distributors to do very well, the Pokemon company to do very well. And then everyone says, well, it's free money, print more. It's only free money until you print too much and it goes over the top, and then it's too much and nobody wants it anymore. And then distributors can't move it anymore. And they're reaching out to people like me saying, Alex, will you take Paradox Rift for $84 a box? We can't move it. Pokemon doesn't want that because then they can't send more product to distributors because distributors can't move it. You know why? Because stores can't move it. And so there's a fine line between print into the ground because it's free money or print enough, but keep your brand and the demand strong so you can continue to print that money set after set, product after product. These are the big brain things in the hobby, guys. This is how the money's made. It's not as simple as, well, just make it cheap and affordable for everyone and then everyone can have it and everyone will be happy. No, everyone won't be happy. Distributors won't be happy. Stores won't be happy. People who care about value in their collections won't be happy. Investors won't be happy. You might have some players happy. Some people just want to open packs and don't care about value. They'll be happy. But to keep everyone happy, it's probably sort of a fleeting dream. There may be some kind of price point people can agree on in certain products. There may be somewhat of an availability people can agree on, but it's likely we're not going to find that point anytime soon. Talking about the economy. Have you guys seen the stock market? Dow Jones, S&P, all-time highs. You know what's going on? Jerome Powell came out, right? Said that maybe he was wrong. Maybe Trump was right that interest rates need to come down. Maybe we need to relook at some stuff. And in September, they might be lowering rates. You guys know what that means, right? That means the economy will continue to boom. They lower rates. That means debt is more affordable. People are more likely to take on more debt, right? Use the lower rates to expand. If that correlates into the housing market and rates come down on houses, more people can afford houses, but not just that. People with houses can now refinance. And when they refinance, they can do two different things. They might just refi and get a lower rate. Now their monthly bills are lower. Now they have more spending power. Or option number two, they may refinance and say, you know what? We got a lot of debt we charged up. We got credit cards. We got a car loan. We got, home improvements. We got this. Why don't our home values are all now double what they were 5 years ago? Why don't we just push all that debt into a new loan at a lower interest rate. And now our monthly bills are way lower. Now we can go spend even more again. The economy will boom again, even more than it is right now, if they lower rates, guys. And yes, that money does not just go to things people need. It goes into things people want. And if you're crazy, if you don't think more of that money will work its way into the collectibles hobbies. So you have that going on. Guys, I know this is not popular. I know things I say in this video will get picked up by other content creators. They'll clip it. They'll make me look like a bad guy like they always do. I do not care. Someone's got to give it to you straight. Someone's got to break through the fog of all the, emotional intelligence of a freaking, child and tell you, hey, listen, this is the way it is. You can either adapt to it or you can whine about it on a day-to-day basis. But guess what? All your whining has done is push everything higher and higher and higher every single day. And I can tell you right now, who cares? Anyone like me does not care, right? The stores do not care. The distributors do not care. Any other business does not care. No one cares what people online on YouTube or in Discord or Reddit are saying. Nobody cares. People think it's indicative of the hobby. It is not. No, these small little these little microcosms of YouTube and Discords and Reddits and all these places, it's a lot of the same exact people traveling around saying the same things in every different place. So it seems like there's a lot of people like that. There's really not. You know how I know there's really not? Because the sales volume never decreases. It's increasing now that summer's over. The prices are not decreasing. The prices are all rising. Every store is still out of everything, right? Another thing I was talking to a guy at the car shop about, he was talking to one of the people who supply the local like Walmarts and Targets, right? They found an air tag on their car in multiple circumstances. They had air tags that people were trying to air tag them, following around to all the stores trying to get the next drop. This is not slowing down anytime soon. As much as people would like it, as much as some people want to get on, their channels and act fake and try to pander to everyone so they don't get hated and they can be liked by everybody because that's important to them. As much as they want to tell you all this fluffy stuff, it's not true. It's just simply not true. And as time ticks on, guys, we are getting closer and closer to some of these sets going out of print. And Sword and Shield's already been out of print. It's going higher and higher. And all you hear is, Alex, it's too high. This can't last. Wait till the bubble pops. Wait till everything drops. And what's funny is the longer you say that, the less and less it stings, right? People were saying things were going to drop for almost a year now. Go look at what things were going for a year ago. If things drop 10, 20, 30%, the only people that lost were the ones that never bought. The people that bought, you're like, dude, I'm up 200%. Do I care that I lost 20 of it? What are we discussing here? And every single day as time ticks on, anyone who owns this stuff makes more and more and more money. And so even if at some point in the distant future, we get a downturn, you've already have so many gains, unrealized or realized at that point, that it doesn't even affect you. You just buy more dollar cost average and you keep moving on. The train keeps moving forward. Now that the Chinese product is bigger than ever, it's drawing more and more of the Chinese population into the hobby, largest population on earth. If you don't, guys, how many people in China speak English? A good portion of them. You don't think a good portion of them are also going to find their way to English like we found our way to Chinese? Like the more Pokemon expands, the more and more, the larger the market gets. And I think people are very naive to the amount of money out there. I think me, myself included, we compare our situation or our immediate situation with what our friends are doing, our families are doing, and we create this idea in our head that that's what everyone experiences. Guys, there are people out there that they don't even have to work for their money, right? They have investments making them money. They have businesses making them money, right? And they literally just get up every day and they made $2,000 because they have passive income. They have investments. They own real estate, whatever. People that make money for doing no work because they put in work to build investments that pay them they spend money much easier. You'll hear like the online guru type saying, like don't spend any of your earned income. Only spend the income that's your residual income. And it's like a lot of people out there have residual income, right? And they spend it freely because they're not touching their principal. They're not working hard for it. And so easy come, easy go. Not just that. We have the crypto markets. They're down a little now. A lot of people have made a lot of money on crypto. What do the people who invest in crypto do? They also invest in other speculative areas. Pokemon. I don't know what else to say, guys. This UPC, you're not going to find it cheap. You're not going to find it at MSRP. It's going to be very expensive. It's not going to get printed into the ground. It's not going to fall to nothing. This is not the 2022-2023 market. The hobby has evolved, and I understand it's popular to be the person to always talk negatively and always cry things are going to drop. And, you know, you just keep crossing your fingers. Eventually you'll be right. The problem is, even once you're right, you're wrong because you've been saying it too long and you missed out on too many opportunities. The last thing I want to address is there are other, I would say, smart individuals out there, educated individuals who don't believe in this hobby, right? I'm not going to name names, but they have a lot of like which sound like very sound arguments, right? And I understand past data can be a very good tool, but it's not the only tool. To compare Pokemon to other collectibles, other pop culture collectibles, to sports cards, to comic books, to other things that were once popular, you know, way back in the early 1900s, the mid 1900s, the 1970s, 80s, 90s, it is not indicative of the Pokemon market for a few different reasons. One, not one of the other things were ever the most popular IP on the planet. Two, the population has never been this large, with this much of the population caring about things like this, like TCGs. Okay. Three, the social media age has changed everything. Back in the day, who knew about your collection? If you went to cons, right? If you talked with friends, or you were in these like online networks when they first started to become online, your local kind of scene on your local shops, like it was very hard to stay kind of engrossed in a community. And that's why people fell out of it. Nowadays, you are boom, 24/7. Every day you get up, you're checking your collector apps, you're on the TikToks, the YouTubes, you see something new, right? You're talking in Discords, you're talking in Reddits. You go to your local card shop talking stuff. You got to buy, you got to collect, you got to move forward, you got to beat this person, you got to compete with them. Oh, they have something that looks cool. I want to afford that. I got to save up and buy it. You are so engrossed in this world now. And yeah, some people take breaks or leave, but once you get engrossed in this world, you don't really get out of it, right? People stay in this kind of community because it's no longer you, yourself, and you at home, right? It's you along with everyone else in the community that you can bond over it. And so that is not indicative of how things used to perform in the past, right? The whole like people remind me all the time. They try to like, you know, that little gotcha shot. Alex, past results are not indicative of future performance. It's like, yeah, Timmy, guess what? You know what that can be said about? Every freaking thing on earth. I could say that about the stock market. I could say that about a crypto. I could even say it about real estate. I know it's worked for 100 years, but past results don't. You could use that stupid argument on everything. It's meaningless, right? All it is another fear tactic to scare people in to not buying or to selling off everything they own. And then what happens is a year later, everyone else made large amounts of money. You didn't. And all you can do is complain that it's not fair. It's bullshit. It shouldn't be like that. It's the greater fool theory, yada, yada, yada. Right. And so best thing I can tell you to do, guys, zone everything out, make the decisions for yourself. Just look at all the strength around you, right? Look at the sales volume. Look at the sales data. People will reach out all the time and say, Alex, this stuff isn't liquid as you think. You can't just sell off things. Guys, just go on eBay right now. Go look at Probstein auctions, okay? Add up everything Probstein sells in one day. It's likely more than your entire collection or investment is worth. Probably more. One seller probably sells more Pokemon items in one day than your entire collection or investment is worth. But it's not liquid and you can't get out of it. It's another cop out. It's like the storage argument. It's like, I can't store this stuff. I can't sell it. I can't do this. It's like, if you can't sell it, then how are all these businesses operating? How are all these consignment services in business? If the stuff doesn't sell, if it's not liquid, how's everyone getting paid? Right? Well, doesn't make sense, right? Something's off. So either they're lying to you or I'm lying to you. Hey, only one way to find out. Go send your product to a consignment service. Go list it yourself. See if it sells. And then the people that will reach out, Alex, my item's been listed, hasn't sold a bit. They'll have it listed like, exponential above market, or it'll be bad pictures, bad description. They'll have a no feedback account. They'll be asking 100% on a Facebook marketplace or a Discord. They'll be doing stupid things that it's like, well, duh, it's not selling. Here's how it works. You can get full price on eBay or TCG Player, or you can sell off that platform on a Facebook, Instagram, Discord, or in a show, and you can take 90%, 85%. It'll sell like that. I promise you. I guarantee it. Now, if you're buying into unpopular items, right, which I've warned against multiple times, and you got a bunch of nonsense, you got mini tins, collection boxes, tins, all this random stuff, yeah, you're going to have a hard time getting rid of it. PSA 6s, 7s, 8s. You're going to have a hard time getting rid of it. Bunch of single cards. They're all light play and, moderate play condition. You're going to have a hard time getting rid of it. If you are investing in booster box cases and booster boxes, if you are investing in high-end PSA 10s, those are as liquid as water. Liquid as water. But again, everything's going to zero. Everything's crashing. No one actually likes this stuff, right? It's all a big scheme. Guys, I've been hearing that now for like 10 years. No, let's be honest. I've been in the hobby 10 years. I've been hearing it now for about 5 years. We heard it during COVID. I heard in Sword and Shield era, it was all overprinted. No one was actually going to want this stuff. Greater Full Theory. We heard it in Scarlet Violet. Scarlet Violet wasn't as good in Sword and Shield. Silver Borders ruined it. No one's going to invest in Scarlet Violet. It's overprinted now. We're hearing it now. We'll hear it again in 5 years. The one constant, everything goes up. Everyone that stays the course makes money. Everyone that, does this as a business does well. Everyone that, buys always says, I wish I would have bought more. They've never once said, I wish I wouldn't have bought. Think about that. Not one person I've ever talked to, Scout's Honor, has ever told me, Alex, I wish I wouldn't have bought this Pokemon product 2 years ago. They always say the same phrase, and I say it too. I only wish I would have bought more. I only wish I would have held longer. I don't know, guys. Let's start taking some questions. Let's interact with the chat. That was my almost half-hour rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know. I think there's two different, this last thing I'm going to say. I think there's two different hobbies at this point. I think there's people who, more probably the younger crowd, they probably interact more with like Twitch communities, Discord communities, Reddits. They really enjoy the YouTube side. Like they really enjoy the like back and forth, the drama, the what did he say about her? What did she say about him? Oh, what's he saying about this situation? Oh, he really came at you. Are you going to come back at him? They really enjoy like the drama and the one-upping and, oh, he got that right. You got that wrong. See, they really enjoy that side of things, right? And they believe in this completely made up market because they're engrossed in the social media world. Then there's the other side of the hobby that only looks at all of the real data, the sales, probably run businesses themselves, and understand the big picture away from all the nonsense. That's entertainment, right? You're not turning on the freaking Kardashians to get advice. You're turning it off to turn your brain off, veg out in front of the TV and not think about stuff. That's what that kind of content should be used for. It's great. No hate to any one of those creators. They're doing a great thing. Hey, what did they do? What I told everybody to do. You want more money for your hobby? Get a second job. What do you think YouTube is? It's a second job. So hats off to all the creators. They are spending their extra time off work, getting a second job. They're making money on YouTube, making money on other ways. They're putting it into their hobby. It's great. They're building a following. They're having a good time. Hats off to them. All the different creators. But if you're actually trying to like be successful in life, right? You want to build, an investment. You want to have a higher net worth. You want to like maybe retire sooner. You want to do nice things, have nicer, whatever, take nicer vacations, whatever it may be. That's not where you go, right? You listen to people who are actually doing it. Let me ask you this. At what point in life did the biggest businesses, the people with the most money, at what point are all those people wrong? At what point are all the most successful people in an industry all wrong? Ask yourself that question. And so you can come up with all these conspiracy theories, how, oh, they're all manipulating it together. They're the big bad stores and distributors and sellers. And okay, but why would all the people with all the product, with all the money, that they all have their own livelihoods wrapped up in? Their livelihood is wrapped up in this stuff too. They're not just running business. All of us own the product. If we didn't actually believe in it, why would we own it? Why would we all be wrong? You ever think about that? So I don't know. That's all I got to say, guys. Hope it gives you some food for thought, and hope it helps you make better decisions, man. Because a lot of people are going to be very unhappy taking all this advice from the entertainment side when, unfortunately, all of the actual knowledge-based side, it's not as flashy. A lot of the channels don't get as many views. They are smaller channels. They don't get recognized as much, but they have 10 times the quality of information that'll actually help you become successful. So that's all I got. Oh, and for everyone else, last thing, for everyone that comes and leaves the stupid comments like, Alex, some of us are just here for fun. Why are you on this live stream then? Why do you watch my investment market videos? It's literally, I tell you, it's for people who want to either do this as a business, side job, want to invest, care about value. If you're a player or just want to look at the shiny cardboard, the videos probably aren't for you. I get it. Not every thing is for everyone. No biggie. Just understand what you're getting when you come to Nostalgianomics. Jancel what is up, dude? Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Alex, I ordered 2 sealed booster box cases of ME with a cost of $245 per box. I can hold for several years with no problem. In your opinion, was it a good buy? Is this the new norm? Was it a good buy? I think it depends on what you're trying to do and your time frame. If you need packs to sell in a store or a break, I think it's a good buy. I think it's going to be hard to find that cheaper at release. If you're trying to invest in it long term, I think there will be times when you're up, and there also might be times when you're down. In 3 to 5 years, I think you will be up. If it bothers you that at some point during the life cycle of the product, you might be lower than 245, it may not have been a good buy. If that doesn't bother you and you can dollar cost average or hold through it and you're fine to hold for 3 to 5 years, I don't see a world where that box is less than that. That's my take, man. Hope that helps. All right, let's see. I know we got some spicy stuff today. I know we do. Gundam Death LR Plus, member for 6 months. Hey, dude. So when I was at the car shop, when the guy I was talking to, he pulled out an LR plus Gundam. So I did finally see one in person. It was sick. Hopefully I get to pull one of those on one of these streams. I'm hoping to. Lucky viewer, what's up? Question: do you ever worry about booster boxes getting too expensive where the price is out of a lot of people? Like if Evolving Skies goes to 10K one day, how many buyers would there be? So inflation's a thing, right? And not just inflation in terms of dollars, inflation in terms of what people can afford in the hobby and the amount of people with money in the hobby, the inflation of your collections and your holdings. And so the kind of the trades you can make for those types of things, or selling off parts of your investment to realize gains to buy something like that you want. And so even though there's less buyers overall at a certain price point, I actually think as time goes on, it's going to create more buyers that can't afford those price points. It's why we're seeing modern boxes right now, Team Up, Flashfire, Phantom Forces, all make it to that 5-figure mark and sell. I mean, guys, you can take Phantom Forces, Flashfire, or Team Up and just throw it, send it off to a consignment service, throw it at a 7-day auction. It's going to get around that price. Anytime you can throw an item at the whim of an auction and it gets near or at full price, that is liquid. That is what we call liquidity. That's liquidity, guys. And so the fact that we're seeing modern boxes that are honestly, in most people's opinions, it's subjective, right? But less popular, worse sets than Evolving Skies, if they're going for that after, 6 to 10 years, why wouldn't Evolving Skies be able to sell for that when it's 6 years old or 10 years old? I don't see an issue with it. I think the price points of the hobby are all moving up. Everyone's collections are getting more valuable. Their collector apps, 2-3 years ago, probably used to look like 10, 20, 30 grand. Now everyone I get sent is in the 6 figures. I think there's a lot more people that can afford those kind of items as we move forward. Not to mention, as the hobby grows, you got to think about this, right? There's a smaller amount of high dollar items, okay? And so you need a smaller buyer pool that can't afford those. Meaning, if, pick a percentage, 2%, 5%, if 2 to 5% of every person entering this hobby is somebody with money, well, if only 2 to 5% of the products ever get to the high end, the high, 4 figures, 5 figures, well, then, there's enough buyers out there to handle it. If it starts to get to the point where a large percentage of the items are all in the 5 figures and there's not a big enough buyer pool at those prices, then we have a problem. I don't think we're headed to that problem. I think there's enough high-end buyers that can't afford these things in the hobby at the rate that, certain things are growing. So that's just my take on it. I'm not worried about it. Aside from the obvious ethical differences, dude, this feels like a diamond market. Whales who can control the supply of boxes, kind of crazy, kind of really interesting market. It is interesting. And all you can do is play with the tools you have, play with the skills you have, and do the best you can. Yeah, if that Charizard leak is real and the Gengar gets a card in that style, that next mega set is sold out already. Dude, I'm telling you, Pokemon knows what they're doing. They are going to continue to create hype after hype. I mean, just seeing the Destined Rivals UPC with that Moltres in it, they know what they're doing. Gengar, Charizard in the same set, they know what they're doing, right? This Mega Evolution set, people are mixed on it. I think it's still going to be great. I mean, I don't know where people are getting it. I don't know where people are getting that they think things are going to slow down. It has to be just something they want to happen. So they're trying to like project that because they're upset that things are expensive. But if you had to actually had someone make a bet, if you took all these bearish people and said, hey, if you had to put, X amount of your own dollars, 50% of your net worth on the line right now, what's your bet? Do you think it's going to slow down in the next year, or do you think it's going to continue to run? I think most people, right, if they actually had to make a real bet, if they actually had to tell you the truth, I think most people think it's going to keep going. They just say it's not because, they don't want to come off as abrasive. They want to make sure they're touchy-feely. They want to try to be on the side of, the community. Look, guys, I'm not going to say any names, but being at the spot I'm at, right, I've been able to talk to a lot of people on screen and off screen, talk to them on the phone, text them, have video calls off, live streams. There's a lot of people that are completely different than they are on camera. There's a lot of people out there that they may act like, the nice, fun-loving, collector here for the community. And, I don't care about the money. And behind the scenes, they know every number. They know every chart. They know every way to make money. They're finding every which way to make a margin. And they're very aware of everything going on, and they're taking advantage of it all. But they just don't like to talk that way publicly because they don't want to be like me and get hate from every which direction of the hobby. And I get it. People have told me that. They're like, Alex, everything you're saying is right, but I'm just never going to say that publicly because I don't want to get the amount of hate you get. People have said that to me, and I get it. I can take it. I don't mind. I'll take all the hate. But everyone knows, guys. Everyone that's deep in this hobby, everything I'm saying, they know. They just don't want to come out and say it. I love everything you're saying because it's true. I like it. It's exciting and new. There we go. All right. 151 DR and Silver Tempest is what I'm holding. Collection, not really sealed product. I open lots. Alex is the one to get me saved, sealed. Get me saved, sealed, baby. Question. Here we go. My investment is worth 30K in right now, mainly prismatic ETBs, binders, and surprise boxes. Also have like 30 Sea and Sky boxes of Pokemon and Pokemon Center ETBs. Should I sell some to get more into boxes? Billy, here's where I'm at with that. Again, I don't like giving any direct like advice like that, telling you to buy this or sell that. But if I was in that situation, unless I could find people like make even trades and I could just get into other products and not lose any money, then I would do it. But I wouldn't want to sell and take like money out of my investment and pay shipping and pay fees, because here's what happens. If you sell $10,000 worth of stuff and you pay even 10% fees and shipping, well, now you're only investing like $8,800 into the new thing. So now that new investment has to not only do better, it has to far outcompete what you were already holding just to get back to a level playing field, and then has to start outcompeting it. And so that's why mostly I like to just hold things and let them continue to compound, because every time you make a sale, you're taking money out off the table and it's being siphoned out to all the big guys, to the platforms for the fees, the payment processors, the shipping companies. They're all getting a piece of it. And so the least amount of transactions you can make with your investments, the better. Now, if you're like making a, local transaction, or taking to a local show and you're getting like full price or full trade or whatever, you're getting other things at a deal, for sure. Then absolutely, I would try to diversify a little more. If not, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just, kind of start getting into boxes from now on. I have multiple six figures in Pokemon, but it's just for fun. My real money's in stocks and crypto, and that's what I would recommend. Hey, man, you can recommend all you want. Unless you've been holding certain cryptos, and we can talk about the time frames. There's certain cryptos that have outperformed Pokemon. There's some that haven't, depending on what you're looking at. I can tell you right now, I don't know what you're holding in the stock market. I'm pretty sure Pokemon's outperformed it by leaps and bounds, especially if you're talking about safe things like mutual funds and ETFs and things like that. And so, look, I'm glad you said this, Garrick, because I want to address this. It's this funny thing. Whenever you step outside the norm, people always attack you with the norms. And I'm not that you're attacking. I'm talking about comments I always get. They always use comments like, well, it's stupid to put your money in a children's card game, or, well, I put my real money in real estate. I put my real money in stocks. It's like, you can do anything you want, man. I mean, I'm sure most people's stock portfolios, their 401ks, their IRAs, I have decimated with my Pokemon investments. In the last 10 years, I have crushed any gains you've made. Now, if you invested in Bitcoin, you won for sure. If you put money in Nvidia, Palantir, 100% you won. But putting money outside of other than a company matched 401k, there's no way you came anywhere close with mutual funds or index funds to what Pokemon is making. It's not even close. And to discount that by saying, well, you can do it for fun, but put your real money somewhere else. Well, if you put your real money in Pokemon, you'd be 10 times richer. So like, let's just call it what it is. It's all money, right? Here's the thing. Money does not discriminate. Let me say that one more time. Money does not discriminate. Money does not care who you are or what you do. And it also does not care, okay? It does not care what you put that money into. Money doesn't say, well, this money's in a stock. Well, this money was in gold. This money was in real estate. Well, that money was in Pokemon. It's the same money. When you get that money, when you earn it, when you get your hands on that money, you have a decision. Where do I put this? If you could put it into something that outperforms something else, it was a smarter decision. That was a more wise decision. Doesn't matter that it was Pokemon. It's an easy way to try to down talk things to sound superior, but Pokemon's outperformed. It was the smart play. But again, Garrett, that wasn't directed at you. It's more directed at the comments I get day in and day out in my videos from people trying to sound all high and mighty. I invest in the stock market. I invest in real estate. Have fun with that. Have fun with that. I'll crush you every single year. I will crush you every single year. Think about this. People complain in Pokemon when there's things only go up like 30, 40% in a year. They complain about it like it's not good enough. Man, if your financial advisor called you and said your stock portfolio was up 30%, you'd be freaking bouncing off the walls. You'd be signing up for an extra vacation. I mean, you would think that guy was the greatest investor in the world. That's like a bad year in Pokemon. That's a bad investment. It's crazy. Let that sink in. I said a similar thing in your chat with that investor guy a few weeks back. Comparing basketball, baseball cards to Pokemon is hard. Pokemon is such a huge global reach versus US-centric sports, for sure. Absolutely. And I think you're small, Steve. I think Steve agrees with that, by the way. Yeah, Steve knows that. Yeah, let's talk about the storage for sure. Storage can be worked around even with limited space. It may just mean you need to sell some larger items sooner to move in more expensive items. Look, guys, if space is an issue for you, okay? If space is an issue, hear me out. Don't buy collection boxes. Don't buy tins. Don't buy ETBs. Don't buy any bulky items. Don't store air. You're storing air. Buy booster boxes. They're the most compact. They're the biggest bang for your buck. I've said it before. If you have a closet, if you have one closet you can designate, if you have one little wall in your house that you can fit a 72 by 48 by 24 shelf, just get one of those garage shelves. They're about $100, homedepot.com. Put it in the corner. It fits around 100 cases of booster box on it. 100 cases, meaning if every case is $1,000, as long as you can allocate one little hall closet or one little small part of your wall in your or house or apartment, you can store up to $100,000 plus in Pokemon cards. If you get up to more than that and it really becomes an issue on space, maybe I don't know, get a better situation where you have more space. I don't know, pay for a storage unit with all the gains you're making. But the space issue should never be an issue, especially if you're storing items like booster boxes. It takes up so little space for the amount of value it is. And I would be willing to bet most people complaining about space don't even have $200,000 worth of Pokemon cards. And so I'm like, so you're telling me you don't have space for one little shelf? Maybe you need to get your living situation like cleaned up or something, or organize your house. I mean, you should be able to find one little closet or one little part of your room to store cases. Just saying. Stop buying all the nonsense product, guys. Stop buying all the ancillary product. It's bulky. You get so much more bang for your buck with booster boxes. Booster boxes perform better, and you're not storing air. Right now, I feel like there's plenty of Black Bolt White Flare in the UK. Yeah. Feels like the staggered bundles later has worked. It'll be scarce, but right now it is there on the shelves. Yeah, it does seem like bundles are coming out. It's helping the price of things. Good to see. No, I don't think the Moltres SIR is going to be affected that much because it still has to be pulled out of a booster box and it isn't stamped. So no, I don't think it's going to affect it. I think it's just going to make that UPC worth astronomical amounts. And I think there's probably going to be a massive grading play on it. It'll probably be a big grading premium, which will cause some of those UPCs to get opened. A lot of them will stay sealed, which they'll rise in value. It's just going to be the same story as always, guys. Same story as always. Team Rocket Joey's telling us to sell. They're going to be printed in the ground. He don't know the future. Here's the thing, dude. Team Rocket Joey, he's trolling, right? And because look, I don't like the guy, but I'm gonna just believe he's not that stupid, right? I'm gonna choose to believe he's playing a character. He's getting views. He's growing a YouTube channel. He's making money off the views he's getting, and he's using that money to put into Pokemon, which again, I told people to do, right? If you want more money to invest, get a second job. Use that money to invest in your hobby. That's what he's doing. But if I got to believe, at least I got to tell myself he doesn't really believe the things he says. Because if he really does, I mean, it's nonsense. It's already been wrong now for months and months. Maybe by the time we get to being wrong for years and years, people will stop listening or just tune in for like the show, like you do, like again, like the Kardashians or Jersey Shore or something. You just want to watch like trash TV to turn your brain off. But again, I've already given him credit, right? Hats off to him. He's created a character. He's rage baited. He's built a channel. He's getting views. He's making money. That's successful. That is successful in YouTube terms. You can't hate on that, right? I don't like the guy personally, so I don't like to entertain any kind of conversation with him. But he's doing what he wants to do. He had a plan. He set out to make it. He set out to do his plan. Honestly, I feel bad for anyone like actually listening to him, not watching his videos. I'm not, guys, go support the guy. I'm not against him doing well in life, but don't go watch him for actual advice. Like, again, understand there's entertainment on YouTube and there's actual like good market business related content. That's on the other side of YouTube, guys. Understand what you're doing. But have fun with the entertainment, right? That's what YouTube's about. Why is this guy always yelling at me? I already bought a ton of sealed product. Okay, sorry, I'll whisper. Hi, mate. I'm sorry. Sorry for yelling. What do we have for our next question? Our next question is from Sage. Sage says, can you talk about the political Pokemon is? I think people don't realize how nice that is. Talk about how political Pokemon is? Political? Is Pokemon political? I don't think it is. I mean, other than the Trump shoes. Have you guys seen the new gumshoes card in the mega sets? Dude, that is Donald Trump, right? But no, I don't ever get the sense it's like political. I mean, obviously, like with the tariffs, Pokeanis covered it. It can affect like, the Japanese, Chinese businesses and things like that, like with the importing the cards and things or products and the sleeves and all that nonsense. But I don't get the idea that it's like politicized. I think Pokemon does a good job staying out of it for the most part. I don't know. Channel. Alex, I know in the past you weren't super bullish on PCTBs. Have your views changed? It's not true. Have your views changed looking at 151 Paldean Phase Prismatic PCTBs? Channel, don't do that. I never said I wasn't bullish on PCTBs. I said I wasn't bullish once they hit $300-400. Now, was I wrong on 151? Absolutely. It has ran farther than I ever thought it could. 100% wrong, and I take full responsibility. All I said was, I am bullish, especially at Pokemon Center prices, even up to $100, $150. Once the PCETBs run to the $300-400 plus, I just really believe eventually there's going to be a ceiling to those where booster boxes, I don't think there will be. And I think the long term, think of it like this. It's kind of like when you think of it like terms of racing, like when you're racing cars, right? You might have some really quick, like turbocharged 4-cylinder, and then you may have like a, big block V8 or something, where once you get to the higher speeds, the V8's going to start pulling ahead, but the 4-cylinder is going to get off the line real quick and look real fast and quick. I think that's more like PCTBs. They are going to come off the line absolutely guns blazing because, they're scarce. I just think over time, they eventually reach a point where the packs inside are so overvalued and, eventually you can only associate so much value to a single card. And I think eventually the booster boxes will be more liquid and they'll have a better later life, I would say. I think, in 5 years, the booster boxes will, in my opinion, perform better percentage-wise than a lot of the PCTBs if you were to buy at $300-400. Here's the problem. Here's where it gets taken out of context. People will say, Alex, look, you could have bought it for $60. Now, no, you can't. I said once it's $300-400. So if you're buying into these things at $300, $400, $500, they have to go to $1,000 just to double or triple your money, right? Whereas boxes, if you're buying at $200, it only has to go to like $400 or $600. I think that is a lot more likely for most every booster box than every PCETB. So I would just get careful paying up for the PCETBs after they've already ran. In the beginning, buy them all. Anything you can get on Pokemon Center, home run. $100 PCETBs, good. $150 even. $200, that start to slow down. Once you get to the $300, $400, $500, that's where I'm not bullish on them. So I haven't changed my views. And yes, 151 has out. Again, I'm always going to be wrong on things. But no, man, I still don't think it's a wise idea to pay $400 or $500 for these PCETBs. I think you'd be better off in booster boxes. I would take 2 booster boxes than 1 PCETB at $400 or $500 all day. Question, Pokey Investor, is Destined Rivals as good as a set? I mean, why is it so expensive in such short time? It looks mid to me. What do you think about I love it. What about it looks mid to you? I mean, it's got some of the best special illustration like arts in the era. It's got a bunch of great illustration rares, especially that Misty Psyduck. I think it's a strong set. I don't. Does the price point make sense this early? In terms of the old market, no. In terms of the new market, you have to look at it like this. There is not a single box of Scarlet Violet era that is under $225 a box. Okay? So when you look at it in terms of that, do you think Destined Rivals deserves to be the same price as SV Base, Paradox Rift, Stellar Crown? Right? And then you look at other boxes like Surging Sparks, right? Do you think it deserves to be worth as much or more than Surging Sparks? A lot of people would say, well, I think it's better than Surging. Okay. So if Surging's 250, 240, maybe you could argue it should only be 270 maybe, but I think it deserves to be one of the highest boxes in the era right now based on what everything else costs. That's just kind of my take. Is it a little overpriced? Yeah, maybe. Should it be at least mid to high 200s? Yeah, probably. The only way Destined Rivals drops is if everything else drops. You're not going to have people go to the marketplace. Here's the thing, guys. Everyone's got their own dollars to spend. If you go to the marketplace and you say, well, I could either buy Scarlet Violet base set for $230, I could buy Paradox Rift for $250, or I could buy Destined Rivals for $240. Everyone's going to buy Destined Rivals, and then it's going to shoot the price back up because it's going to sell out so fast, right? This isn't some big scheme, guys. This isn't some big conspiracy. The money flows where the most demand is. When there's too much demand and not enough supply, the price rises. It's economics 101. That's all it is. You can't have a better set cost as much as a worse set in the same era. It doesn't make sense. They're all still in print. They're all still in print. Now, once Scarlet Violet base and all those sets go out of print, then we have something to discuss. Would I recommend putting money into older sets, in more older expensive sets, or still buying into newer sets, 200 plus a box? So personally, again, can't tell you what to do. For me, I am still looking in early SV. So if you guys don't know, April next year, SV base, Paldea, Paradox, Obsidian, Paldean Fates, and 151 are all in the block that goes out of rotation then. Those sets feel safer to me than any of the other ones. And then when we go back to Sword and Shield, Astral Radiance still hasn't moved a lot yet. Silver Tempest is now starting to move. And then Brilliant Chilling, they just moved. So I was recommending a lot of Sword and Shield. You can still jump in. It's just, it might be a while till you see another big run because it's just going on a big run already. You missed out on some of it. But yeah, you can still pick up some Sword and Shield. I think it's safe too, especially in the long term. Just don't be in a rush to make money immediately on it. Question. When my value drops, it just makes me not want to sell at all. I don't want to lock in losses. Why do people feel panicked to sell? I know that seems like a simple question, but I don't understand. Because they need the money. They need the money. They're scared. They probably spent money they didn't have. They were hoping to go up faster so they could get it back quicker. But yeah, the reason the hobby is stabilizing, and again, I've talked about this years ago on the channel. And again, I got laughed at back then. Now people are realizing it was true. It was right. The hobby is becoming more sophisticated. It is getting a higher level individual that understands finance and understands markets. And so there's less people now that panic sell at every drop. And there's more people that just pick up more, that dollar cost average in, that hold through all the market noise in the first 1, 2, 3 years. And so you're going to have less and less of that. But I would just say there's still a lot of immature investors, immature people to finance that do panic sell because they're worried about losing 10, 20, 30 bucks on a box one day. So that's what it's just people that are afraid to lose money. That's all. And it's not even losing money. They're afraid to see their dollars go down on paper and they don't want to hold for another year, 2 years, to see it go back up on paper. That's all it is. Question. Where do you see sets like Cosmic Eclipse, Unified Minds in the next 1 to 2 years? Heard you mention possible drops in price in the future. Would love to hear your perspective. Well, when I mention drops, what I mean is whenever things go up parabolically, normally you see like a 5, 10, 15% correction. That's all I was really talking about. I could see, Cosmic or Team Up or Unified falling like 5, 10, 15% from their highs, finding a new low, stagnating, and then they'll probably run again. 1 to 2 years, that's a hard time frame. They could be the same price they are now. I mean, Cosmic may go a little further, may take a little bit of a 10%, 15% drop, may go stagnant, may run again. I don't know. But I would expect something that goes up hundreds of percent in the matter of a month or two to have some sort of a pullback, not a crash. And not to say that it's not going to be higher in the future. It's just nothing goes up infinitely immediately, right? There's always pullbacks, stagnation points, runs, pullback, stagnation. When things run slowly, it has a less chance of a pullback. When things run parabolically, there's more chance of a pullback. So that's all I was really talking about with Cosmic. But 1 to 2 years is hard. 3 years, I think it's going to be higher. 1 to 2 years is probably even going to be higher. 1 year, it's up in the air. Probably still higher though. The way this hobby moves, things happen so fast. A correction could look like, 1 month, 2 months. Stagnation could be 1 month, 2 months. Then the run could happen again, and in 6 months it's higher than it is now. I mean, that's how crazy it is. Thoughts on PSA 9s for Modern? The only time I recommend PSA 9s if you want them is if you're getting them for the same price as the raw mint card. If you can buy a PSA 9 for the same price as near mint, hey, at least you have an authenticated card that's encapsulated, that is safe, and that, you like it, right? As far as like, if you're looking for like an investment, I don't know about that. I still like slabs better than raw because I don't like arguing condition with people. I don't want to go back and forth. Is this near mint minus, near mint plus? Is it mint? Is it light play? I don't want to play the nonsense game, right? If you like playing that game, have at it. When people message me about stuff like that, you think this is a strong 10, a weak 10? Can you send me more pictures? I don't even respond to those people. I want ease of transactions, right? And that's what graded cards allow, right? You can list it, PSA 9, it sells, they get the PSA 9, transactions over. And so I still like PSA 9s over raw, and that's what I would say about it. To be fair, Alex, you and Eli both said mega evolutions would be a catalyst for a slowdown not so long ago. Some people are just later to realize. I did, and we addressed it. We were wrong, man. I think what happened was the summer slowdown on the streams definitely got me feeling that we were headed for more of a slowdown than we were. And now that the summer has ended and the streams have all picked back up, sales volumes picked back up, prices are all running again, it tells me that we're not ready yet. We're not ready for a slowdown. That was literally just summer. It was just summer being summer. And now people are coming back. Kids are going back to school. The vacations are over. All the pools and all those activities are over. People are back focused on their hobbies. They're spending money on their hobbies again. And it was literally just the summer. And it tells me the slowdown's not here yet. So, yeah, man, I was wrong. Guys, I have no problem admitting I'm wrong on things. As long as you're right 70, 80, 90% of the time, you're always going to be successful in this hobby. Always. The Garatina V is getting given away tonight. Yes, sir. So let's go ahead. We got to shill. We got to shill the stream, guys. You know we got to shill the stream. Let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. So tonight on the stream, we are running the random packs, and there it is. The Garatina. The Garatina V will be given away tonight on the streams. And so if you guys do want to hop on tonight, we do have the random packs. We got Final Fantasy Collector. We got Gundam TCG. There's Evolutions, Hidden Fates, Evolving Skies, Celebrations, Fusion Strike, Crown Zenith, 151, Prismatic, and Pal Day and Fates. It is the high-end night. So it's all the high-end night. And so if you guys want to show up tonight and jump in, if you do jump in the random pack break, you got a 1 in 50 chance at a booster box. We got Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Paldea, Destin, all in the booster box game. And then at the end, anyone that buys 10 or more, you'll have a chance to go home with a near mint pack fresh Garatina. It was pulled by Jonathan N last night, and he gave it away to the stream. So this will be given away tonight on stream. Thank you for asking, man. Alex, do you think buy and hold Rudy style is a good strategy if you were to capitalize? Well capitalized. Thanks for, yeah, absolutely. It's what I do. I sell very little of things I put away for long-term holds. And yeah, if you have income, you have capital for other things, you're not like strapping yourself anywhere else, you don't need the money, then I don't know if there's a good reason to sell right now, honestly. As someone who has fairly limited capital, I currently sell about 10K per month at 30% margins. Would you consider taking money out of the business to invest or continue to put it all back in? Dude, if you're consistently making 30% margins and you don't mind putting forth the work and effort and you have the time, that's always going to be the fastest way to build the wealth. Once you end up having too much money, you literally cannot find enough places to allocate the capital, or you no longer want to work as much and you have too much, you're spending too much time on it. That is when you start having your money work for you. You don't need to start investing until you literally are running out of time or you no longer want to work as much. And so, if you're still doing that and you're comfortable with what you're doing, man, you're going to outproduce investment gains making 30K or 30% a month, man. That's crazy. Congrats. Congrats on all the success, by the way. That's awesome to hear. Two-part question. You only make gains when you sell. At what point is the best point to sell? And what's your thoughts about the new Chinese sets as the exclusive cards are through the roof? Game over. I'll counter that with a question to you. When do you sell your 401k? When do you sell your mutual funds? When do you sell your index funds? When do you sell your real estate holdings? You only make money when you sell, right? Unless maybe some of those pay dividends or whatever. But you sell when either you need the money, when you think there's a better investment that you're going to do better on, or you've reached a point in your life where you need to sell to either retire or take it as income or whatever. In my opinion, this is just mine. If I do not have a reason to sell, or there's not a better opportunity for the money, and I do not need the money, whether for my personal life or business, there's no reason to sell. No reason to sell. Unless, again, option number 4, I guess, you think the market is going to free fall and you want to protect your gains. That's the only reason you'd want to sell. I don't believe any of those things. I don't need the money. I have nowhere else I think I can put it that's going to do better than what I have it in, with the same safety net. And so I keep it where it's at. Chinese sets, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm a boomer, man. Back in my day, Chinese cards were the fake cheap things you ordered from China just for fun to screw around with. Now they're some of the most expensive cards in the hobby. I don't know. I don't know where this all ends. It's very risky. It's kind of like, getting like triple leverage on an options contract or something. If you want to play that game, you might end up, really good. You also might end up really bad. So be careful. Be careful playing with those is what I would say. Way too new, way too hot. Not established enough. Very scary. Very scary. But doesn't mean you can't do well. Risky investments can pay off too. Alex, what's up, Drewski? You've touched on the Fed meeting? I did. Powell awkwardly hawkish and rate cuts seem imminent. Yes, they are. Market is not going to slow down. Pokemon Bull going to continue with all the gas and brakes. We talked about it at the beginning, man. Absolutely. Dude, rate cuts are going to come. People are going to be able to borrow more. Eventually, people are going to refinance their homes. They're going to roll debt into their homes. They're going to spend more on things again. It's going to jumpstart. I mean, we are just nowhere close to anything slowing down. Stock market, the hobby, nothing. 100%, man. I'm with you. The MSRP gang, man, they are dying a slow, painful death right now. The print to the ground crowd is they are all crying right now in their parents' basements. Sad times. Let's see. I heard Plumber is in debt for Cool Trainer Ryan, though. Spent a lot being drunk. Oh, man. The Plumber CTR, man. All that comes to mind, I'm telling you, I said it before, all that comes to mind is that new Drake song, right? The What Did I Miss, man? It's like, One day the dude's like one of my best friends, calls me almost every day. We have tons of conversations. We've hung out in person, flew out, hung with him out in New Jersey. We hung out in Kansas City. We were really close. We were thinking about doing business together. And man, I got him on YouTube on the streams. I promoted his YouTube channel when he started it. And, at the first sign of thinking he could find someone that could get him more famous quicker, he jumped ship, supported a hater, and we just jumped on board with CTR. So yeah, man, that is what did I miss? What did I miss, man? What did I miss? If you open a sealed case to verify the contents, is it an unsealed case still valuable as a sealed case? No. Nope. You will lose the case premium right when you cut that stop tape for the first time. If you're that worried about it, I would say either just be okay with losing a small percentage of the case premium, or buy from a trusted seller that you trust, pay a little extra, and that way you don't have to cut the case. But yes, you will lose the case premium. But you'll still get more though. Like people like seeing they're from a sealed case. They look more minty or whatever. If you list them on eBay, as like a single box, but you show a picture from a sealed case, you can still command somewhat of a premium, but not as much as a sealed case. I'm concerned about some of these people with large collections. I don't know if they know how hard the work is to realize those gains and when they need to sell those products, especially the large collection boxes. Yeah. I think a lot of people are taking advantage of a lot of the consignment services. They're very good at what they do. You can just ship everything to them. Heck, you can load it all up in a U-Haul and drop it all off, and they'll sell everything for you. And, they'll make all, accurate listings, good descriptions. They take care of all the shipping and customers and all that stuff. So, I mean, I think consignment services businesses are going to continue to grow. Yeah, some of the people that think they're going to get 100% of their items and they're going to sell it all themselves, they're sadly mistaken. I think a lot of them. I think you're right, man. I need to liquidate some items, but I'm torn to let go. What are your thoughts on holding long-term of these items? XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. Me personally, at the current prices, I'd feel better taking profits on XY, Sun and Moon than I would Sword and Shield. That's just me. I think they've already went through a lot crazier runs than Sword and Shield has recently. David, thanks for the super chat, brother. Do you see Destined Rivals on the same trajectory as Fusion Strike and Lost Origin once they're out of print? My bet is yes. Top chases with solid secondary chases, IRs. Yeah, I mean, if not somewhere between Fusion and Evolving, maybe not quite Evolving level, maybe but more than Fusion. I don't know. It's definitely going to be the top booster box in this era, right? So yeah, 100%, David. It's going to be a big one in the years to come. It's going to be a big one. I do not have any XRP. No XRP for me. I missed out. Do you see standard promos in 151 and Crown Zenith ETBs going higher than they currently are? I would guess as the products rise, they'll likely rise. Hard to tell, though. To be honest, I'd rather if you don't know stocks, but you do know Pokemon really well and do your numbers, put money into Pokemon. 100%. Guys, here's the funny part. Every financial... Okay, I can't speak for everyone. A lot of the financial advisors out there will always tell you, invest in what you know. If you know Pokemon so much that you're one of the 400 and something people in here in the middle of the day on a Friday listening and talking about the Pokemon market and knowing all these inner workings of all the cards and the products and the markets and the print runs, I think you know Pokemon probably better than other places you could be putting your money. It makes sense to have a lot of money invested in what you spend the majority of your time with, especially if you can implement strategies to actually get ahead of the general public where, as like the stock market, crypto markets, you can't really get ahead. The market price. Pokemon, you can always wheel and deal and find deals and work deals. And, it's a lot less optimized market, which allows people to be much more successful faster in it. So yeah, I 100% agree with that average player. Makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Drewski, Alex, you've touched. Yeah, I already took it, man. Thanks, brother. Alex, what do you do when you buy so much product that you can't fit it in your closet or garage? You can get a storage unit, I guess. You can always get a storage unit. Make sure you insure it, all that good stuff. It's going to eat into your profits, but either that, or like I said, consolidate down to booster boxes. Get rid of all the other junk, and that will probably free up a lot of space. 99% of the people I've talked to, I've done consult calls with, their space issue were because they had collection box cases, tin cases, blister cases, ETB cases, etc., etc. Consolidate all that down to booster boxes. You'll have an entire closet worth of stuff go down to a little small corner. The same value of booster boxes is worth like mountains of all the other junk. I'll take 500% gains with difficult in liquidation versus 100% gains with instant liquidation. You know what's funny too? Here's the other thing. Oh, hold on. Garrick says it's not really the percentages. It's more the ease of accumulating a large position and moving large positions. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I want to also preface it with this. A lot of people are trigger happy. And what I mean is sometimes having lack of instant liquidity can actually work in your favor. When you actually have to think about something and sell it and actually, do I really want to pack it up and sell it and go through this process and list it? It actually forces people to hold things longer, and they're almost always better off for it. Whereas, you run into the day trading mentality with stock market, someone makes a little bit of gains and they get all amped up and they click the button and it's sold. And now it's like, well, now what? Now where I put the money? And so, yeah, Garrick, look, if you're a very, if you are have a very good like tolerance, for gains and losses, and you're very disciplined, for sure. Once you get a large amount of money, it may no longer make sense for you to put it on the Pokemon and move all the pallets around and everything. I get it. But for my only point was, the only thing, again, I'm on your side, dude. I get it. The only thing I don't like is kind of the discounting of Pokemon as just as a legitimate investment as anything else, right? Because they'll have people literally on CNBC talking right there, the trading floor, and they'll be talking about, high-end sports cards, high-end comic books, high-end watches, high-end, collectible memorabilia, whatever it is, and they're all respected as other places to invest and hold your money. Why is it so crazy that Pokemon cards, the largest media franchise, one of the most popular things with our generation, is not as respected as a place to hold value? I think the older people get, like the more it gets established, and the more people like my age that kind of get into power, like, they kind of start taking positions at these companies and on these platforms and on these like media channels. I think people are going to become more and more accepting of it and not downplay it as much, because you can't deny the money. You cannot downplay the real money that is being made in this hobby. You can try to by calling it children's cardboard or it's not a real investment, but at the end of the day, none of it matters because people are making real gains. But yeah, if you have a large amount of money, 100%, put it somewhere that's easier for you to manage. Yep. You could always break down the boxes for limited space. If you're not very, kind of adverse to having loose packs, some people are. Either way, you can do that. I am not buying One Piece booster boxes because of what we just said. I do not know anything about One Piece. I don't want to put money into something I don't know, when literally I want to put more money into Pokemon than I already am. Like, I'd rather put more money into something that I know. When have we seen this much sealed collections in the past? Does that not raise concerns? James, when have we seen this many people in the hobby in the past? When have we seen this many languages Pokemon being printed in the past? When have we seen this much worldwide growth in Pokemon in the past? It's all relative. It's all relative, man. Alex, do you think modern boxes are overpriced? Certain ones, maybe. Other ones, no. Certain ones, maybe. Other ones, no. What do we got going on? Most of the people in here have not been through a down market. Trust me, once things start to come down and drop and product flushes on the market, some people will be fire selling their collections. 100%, Matthew. The problem is there's more money on the sidelines in this hobby than I've ever remembered in the past. I have more money on the sidelines. Everyone I talk to in this hobby all have more money. Everyone is willing to buy. And I'm not talking about the nonsense you hear on Discord and Reddit. If it goes to this price, I'm going to load up. No. I mean, like, people who have been in this hobby for 5, 10 plus years. They know all the market swings. They are ready to deploy tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars into these items. It's not a joke. There's money on the sidelines. If things drop to certain prices, they will get bought. There will be bottoms that are put into place because there's still more money out there of people that know what's going to happen in the future than the kind of Timmies that panic sell. I'm telling you right now, I believe there is enough money out there of people on the sidelines that can eat up all the panic sellers very quickly, because everyone knows what happens. We've seen this dog and pony show so many times. It always recovers. It's kind of like the stock market. People come on like CNBC saying it's all going to crash. It's going to be the end of capitalism. It's going to be America's decline. The dollar is going to crash. And guess what happens? Every single time any correction happens, it always comes back. It roars back stronger than ever. And every bear in the history of the market has always been wrong. The market's always found new highs every single time. Hey, what's up, Sim? We may be wrong because Obsidian PC ETB is 650. Maybe. I may be. Again, here's what I'm going to say. I'm okay being wrong. What I'm not okay with is taking unnecessary risk, trying to obtain more gains, right? So, like, I'm not going to buy an options contract instead of buy the equity itself, right? I'm not trying to make the most amount of gains in the shortest amount of times. I am trying to make the most amount of gains in the safest, as the risk-free way possible I can. So it's all about the risk to reward ratio. I truly feel in booster boxes, the risk to reward is far more geared to reward than it is risk. In my opinion, the PCETBs, they're brand new. We've never seen anything like this. It seems more risky for the gains you can make than booster boxes. That's all it is. And I may be wrong, and that's fine, but I'd rather be wrong taking on less risk. What's up? No slack bolt. Yo collector app. Yo collector app 151 Zard is over 1,000 PSA 10. I know it's running. I didn't think it was all the way there yet. I think you can still find it a little cheaper. But yeah, it's running. I told you it was going to. Guys, I called that. I said, now I thought it was going to take longer, but I said as we near going out of print, all of the 151 SIRs are going to run again. There it is. Back to 1,000 already. My thoughts on the Zard UPC. It's great, man. All the promos hold tons of value in PSA 10s. They're hard to grade. That's great for a sealed item, just like the Evolution VMAX boxes. They have a awesome variety of packs in there. All the best sets in Sword and Shield, multiple packs of each. I love that product. Great product. Great alternative to having one of every box. If you have the space. Sets that don't have booster boxes. Well, obviously, if you can get your hands on PC ETBs at good prices, if not, regular ETBs, bundles. I like regular ETBs and bundles for specialty sets, if you have the space for it. Considering a few cases of fusion and moving into prismatic, selling fusion into prismatic ETBs, even at 120, prismatic looks undervalued. What do you think? What do I think? I said it before. I recently purchased 18 cases of Prismatic Evolutions ETBs. And the price point I paid was $950 a case. So that's That is what I think. Hope that helps. Yeah, Hayden Ross and Logan Paul could open cards. That'd be amazing. If we start getting the mainstream streamers start opening them again, it's off to the races. All right, guys, I'm going to start to wind things down here. We've been going about an hour and a half. Unfortunately, I do have other things to do, man. I got to stream tonight. I got Collecticon tomorrow and Sunday. I got people coming to stay at my house while I'm gone to watch over things. I got a lot of stuff to get ready for, so unfortunately, I can't go all afternoon like normal. But so I'm going to kind of wrap things up, but I will take a few more questions here. Thank you guys, by the way. Thanks so much for showing up to the stream. I know it's just kind of an impromptu thing. I just threw it up this morning. So glad all you guys could make it. I know we had like 400 to 500 people in here the whole afternoon. Guys, from the bottom of my heart, for real, thanks so much for all the support. Even all you, I know there's some hate watchers in here. You're probably trying to get some clip farm it. Hey, I appreciate you guys too. All the views are the same, right? A hate view and a love view. It's all the same. But I really do appreciate you guys. I know the hobby has been through so many different things while I've been on YouTube. And I know I've been wrapped up in so many different, drama things here and there. But everyone has continued to rock with me, rock with the channel, continue to support. Really means a lot, guys. Everyone who's rode with me the whole time. You guys are the real ones. So thank you so much for all the support as always. Thanks for continuing to come to the streams. And I hope everyone continues to enjoy the hobby and be successful in it. I really do. Fernando gifting 5 memberships. Guys, if you got a membership from Fernando, make sure you thank him. Thank you so much, dude. We need more green, cuz. Oh, man. Trying to find a couple good ones. Alex, do you see moving profits this cycle into rarer vintage graded to be a good play? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, the past data has showed us vintage is actually more volatile. Here is the problem with vintage. All right, let me explain it to you. There is far less demand for vintage. Most people do not want it. Most people prefer the modern art. Okay. When things spike, vintage is going to spike harder because there's less of it. When it falls off, there's so little demand that it becomes extremely illiquid, way more illiquid than any one of these modern cards or boxes does. And also during the 2021, 2022 crash, vintage crashed twice as hard, like literally by the numbers, twice as hard as modern. Some of the vintage cards saw 50 up to like 80% declines from their highs. Modern did not see anywhere near those numbers. The lie is perpetuated, and it's a lie at this point. It is absolutely a lie based on the data. I'll call it what it is. The lie is that vintage is safer because it's more scarce and there's less population. The truth of the matter is the data shows us it's actually more volatile and more risky based on the swings it's had in the past. Now, if this next time around we go through a downturn and it holds up better, then we can revisit it. But from the data we've seen, vintage has had higher highs and lower lows, meaning that's more volatile than modern boxes are, and even a lot of modern cards. And so that is not something I am looking to move any money into. I will never be buying vintage slabs as investments. Hey, Matt, glad you enjoyed the live chat. Appreciate you, dude. Important. Stop worrying about what sets and have fun in the investment. To be fair, got me thinking, stressing too much. Yeah, man, dude, everyone's stressing too much these days. Just stay the course. Stay the course. It's going to work out for probably 90% of what you buy. Maybe you get a couple things wrong. Big deal. Big deal. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. What I will leave you with is what we just talked about. Guys, stop getting so wrapped up in the online drama of the Pokemon hobby. It's not as serious as people make it, right? If you buy a box today and it goes down $20, $40, $60 tomorrow, if you buy a box at $245 of Mega Evolutions and it drops to MSRP. It drops $80. Think about all the things in your life that you've wasted $80 on. Going out to a restaurant for a night, seeing some concert you didn't even like, going to some sporting event that it was miserable, it was rainy, it was cold, it was something, right? Taking a trip that didn't pan out, you know, I don't know, buying a present for somebody that, you know, they didn't appreciate. Like, think of all the things that you've just blown 40, 60, 80 bucks on, right? And that's what you are deathly afraid of when buying a box. I could be down money. It's not that big of a deal. It's not. Unless that little bit of money is really important to your situation, then don't buy it. But if you are stable in your life, your income, your investments, whatever it may be, don't let it be more than it is. If you buy a case for $1,200 and it drops to $1,000, you ask yourself, is $200 really going to hurt me? Right? Now, online, you're going to see the YouTubers jump on it and act like Armageddon just happened. You lost money, right? Same thing when things go up. If it doubles in price, is couple hundred bucks going to change your life? Probably not. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Stay the course over time. As long as things continue the way they always have, you're going to outproduce most other gains you're going to see out there, especially those at similar risk levels. And what I mean by similar risk levels, 100% of every Pokemon booster box has went up in price from its original release, MSRP, whatever you want to say. It's all higher today than it was then. And so that's what I'm talking about by low risk. Could it change? Of course, but everything could change, right? Stock market could change. Crypto could change. Real estate could change. America could change. Everything can always change. If you're constantly worried about the what ifs, you're never going to take action on the here and now and the more likely scenario. Guys, if you're betting on a black swan event, right? If you're literally, your bet is, my bet of why I'm not going to invest is I believe a black swan event is going to happen, right? You know, we're going to go into World War III. America is going to cease to exist. The American economy is going to collapse. The world economy is going to collapse. The financial system is going to collapse. You know, we're going to need to be doomsday preppers, right? If you're banking on that situation as to why you're not investing, that is actually a larger risk than just investing in what has always been and always worked. The odds are, not saying it's guaranteed, nothing's guaranteed. The odds are things are going to remain the same they've always been, more than ever change. So that's all I got, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your afternoon. Hope to see you guys on the stream tonight, 7 p.m. Central Time tonight. And if you're going to be at Collecticon tomorrow, Sunday, make sure to come up, say hi. I'll be there. And that's all I got. Yo, wait, ending things. Florida's French Bulldogs. Would you trade a sealed 151 ETB case for 10 for 2 Destined Rivals booster box cases? If it was me, I would not. I would rather have 151 at the current time. If this was 2 years from now and Destined Rivals was about to go out of print, I would say Destined Rivals. Because it's still so new and 151's about to go out of print, I would personally stick in 151. But that's just me. You got to do what you got to do with your own money. Hope you guys enjoyed. That's going to be it. We are out.